I was there, the Solari continued. 3 didn't vote in favor. It wouldn't be difficult to convince them. After all, if they weren't to blame for anything that happened, then why would they be against serving justice? They will be concerned with their own survival. The conspiracy deepened. The delegates began secretly contacting key military and political leaders in their home systems, weaving a network of discontent. The plan would be a coordinated assault, a coup d'état executed with surgical precision, disguised as an act of purification for the KR-TAC and as a restoration of justice for the others. The fate of the Council, and of the Milky Way, depended not only on Earth and the KR-TAC, but on a risky political maneuver. The conspirators prepared to sacrifice their own leaders to the invaders, hoping that this act of pragmatic cruelty would buy enough time to obtain the terrestrial weapon and redefine power in the galaxy. Survival, at any cost. Chapter 50, A New Dawn Stained with Blood. The decision had been made. The conspirators would not only hand over the council members who voted in favor of the sacrifice, but they would do so in the most brutally efficient way possible. Lockster, Naelf, and Solari consolidated their networks, pulling invisible strings among the discontented factions and military commanders loyal to their respective worlds. The new council was about to be born, not from a vote, but from a bloody coup. The plan was audacious and ruthless. Utilizing sophisticated cloaking technology and intelligence networks infiltrated by Solari, forces loyal to the conspiracy would simultaneously assault the personal strongholds and capital ships of the 9 delegates who had voted for Earth's sacrifice. There would be no trial, only execution. The Council's purification of inefficiency would be internal, a dark mirror of the KR-TAC's own doctrine. Location, Gamma 7 Annihilation Battleship Command Bridge. The Great Emperor HFY received the conspirators' communication. THRAC, at his side, watched the transmission. The images showed detailed blueprints of the internal purge. A faction of the Galactic Council proposes a new order, the synthetic voice of the KR-TAC system stated. They offer the purification of inefficiency within their own ranks. They propose handing over the leaders who deceived the hegemony with Entity 347 Gamma. Emperor HFY observed the projections. His inscrutable face showed no surprise. They have understood the logic. Inefficiency must be purged. He turned to THRAC. General, what is your evaluation? A pragmatic adaptation, Emperor, THRAC replied. They demonstrate understanding of our principles. A council purged by itself might be more manageable. More useful to our objectives. So be it then, HFY responded, and sent his reply. The message to the council conspirators was concise and brutal, a simple validation of their plan: do it. The hegemony gives you the green light. Location, Galactic Council Diplomatic Nexus. The diplomatic nexus, once a symbol of peace, became a stage for terror and chaos. Coordinated, invisible attacks swept through the ships and personal citadels of the target delegates. There was no time for defense. The Imperial Guards of the traitorous leaders were neutralized with relentless efficiency, surprised by a betrayal from within. High Counselor Zodek, Supreme Delegate Lyra, the Xantari, and the other delegates who had condemned Earth, fell. Their deaths were quick, silent, executed by those who considered themselves the future rulers of the galaxy. The new council had seized power in a bloodbath, with the implicit blessing of the KR-TAC. Location, low Earth orbit. Time, hours after the coup. From the new council ship, a new message was sent to Earth, more detailed and graphic than ever. The message was from NALTH.IN Subterranean Complex No. 7, the monitors vibrated. President Solis, along with the rest of the presidents gathered virtually, awaited the new message. They watched with a mixture of horror and astonishment as the images materialized on the holographic screens. They were not abstract concepts, but crisp video sequences. The first sequence showed High Counselor Zodek, the Xantari, and Supreme Delegate Lyra, along with others, debating heatedly in a council chamber. Their final discussion about Earth's fate was clearly audible, translated, life will be dissipated, the only resource, to guarantee the survival of the Milky Way. Then, the images changed abruptly. Stealth teams moved through the ship corridors. The muffled screams and energy flashes were a prelude to bloodshed. They watched the Zantari dematerialize, Lyra fall, her pulsing glow extinguishing. The bodies of the traitors were shown, unmistakably dead. These were not images of a ruined planet, but of a coup d'état executed with calculated brutality. Nailtha's final message, translated by the terrestrial AI, was projected over the scenes of massacre. We have met your demand. The traitors who gave away your world have been punished. Your crimes have been avenged. This is the new council. We have demonstrated our will and our strength. We now require the resources to build your weapons. The threat is imminent. Your only hope is to join US. An astonished silence fell over the joint South American Command Center. It wasn't just that vengeance had been fulfilled, but the manner in which it was done, with a coldness and efficiency that rivaled the K'artak themselves. They had demanded justice, and they had been delivered a massacre. The humans had a galactic ally. But the nature of that alliance, and the morality of their new partners, was as terrifying as the threat looming over them. The galaxy had changed forever, and Earth was now at the center of a power game it was only beginning to comprehend. Chapter 51, The Bitter Pact. The tension was almost unbearable in Subterranean Complex No. 7 in Buenos Aires. I don't like this, Solis said, looking at the screen showing the message from the new council, and the images of the eliminated galactic leaders. I don't trust them one bit. They killed their own with the same coldness as the others who pulverize worlds. Nobody trusts them, responded the President of Spain, Francisco Sanson, from Madrid. But we cannot manufacture enough dissonance projectiles with what we have. Global production capacity is a fraction of what we need to defend ourselves, much less to think of a counterattack. General Vance, usually a man of action, seemed more thoughtful than ever. It's a transaction. They want our weapons, or at least our capacity to produce them. We need their resources. It is an alliance of necessity, not friendship. And it's the only thing we can do, Solis said firmly, though tinged with resignation. Their message is proof of their desperation, not just ours. They need our technology, the only one that has worked. But we will make it clear that the formula remains ours. The final decision was unanimous, though every vote felt like a forced surrender. Humanity, with the bitter taste of betrayal in its mouth, would extend a pragmatic hand. The terrestrial response was concise, devoid of emotion, a reflection of the cold logic that now dominated their existence. Radio waves carried the message back to the new council ship in orbit. We have received your proof. We acknowledge the elimination of those responsible for the galactic betrayal. This act is recognized. Regarding your request for access to our technology, Earth cannot and will not hand over the blueprints, formulas, or direct access to the engineering of our projectiles. The manufacture of these missiles is the result of our planet's singularity and our own desperate innovation. However, the enemy's threat is a shared danger to the entire galaxy. If you wish Earth to become a capable ally in this struggle, you must fulfill your part of the agreement. We request the immediate delivery of the resources previously detailed, specific minerals, stabilized transuranic elements, and energy processing modules. Once these resources are delivered and verified, Earth will increase production for mutual defense. This will be a transaction, not an act of full trust or an unconditional alliance. The formula for our weapon remains on Earth, under the exclusive control of humanity. Cooperation will be based on the delivery of resources in exchange for missiles. The message was finalized and sent, a declaration of sovereignty in the midst of a proposed alliance. On the council ship, Lockster, Nailth, and Solari read the response. Frustration was evident among the conspirators. They won't give us the formula, Nailth grumbled. They demand resources without giving us control of the production. But they will give us the weapons, Lockster countered. They control the production, yes, but their enemy is our enemy. And our galaxy needs that weapon. They have proven to be stubborn. Solari observed Earth, now not just a planet, but a fortress. It is a sign of their distrust. And their strength. They want to be a worthy ally, not a subordinate. The Kr'tak hegemony seeks to subdue. The terrestrials seek partners, even at their own price. This is a basis for a new order. Naelf, I need you to talk to Kalen about the delivery of the resources to the terrestrials. We must be at the diplomatic nexus, otherwise, we could arouse suspicion with XYLAR. Kalen helped us with the simultaneous attack on the former council leaders, but he doesn't know that we are allied with the terrestrials. You will have to explain this to him, and only the most trustworthy people should accompany him in this process. If this information is leaked, we are dead. Let him know that after the delivery of raw materials in exchange for weaponry, we will give him the reward he deserves, the highest military power in the galaxy, answering only to the new council. The new council had gambled heavily to obtain the only weapon capable of harming the Kr'tak, and now Earth had raised the stakes. The relationship began, not with handshakes, but with a cold accounting of resources and a deep, yet necessary, distrust. The fate of the Milky Way depended on whether both sides could overcome their deep wounds and fears to face an enemy that knew no such doubts.